So the next presentation, it talks about policy. I had mentioned this. So any organization dealing in peering needs to develop a peering policy, okay? Let me just, I'm not going to talk about peering DB. Ben has already done that. I'm going to talk about probably the format of the peering policy, okay? So there was a study done by PCH long time ago. There was a study done by Packet Clearing House in 2011. They did another subsequent one in 2016. You can find those two surveys or studies on the pch.net website. They studied the different agreements, the different interconnection agreements, and they come up with some, I would say, key aspects that came frequently in those agreements, okay? Those are the statistics of the surveys. So there are three types of peering policies, and those ones fall into these three categories. Open peering policy, the organization is open to do peering. Selective, they will be selective. They will not do any open peering policy. They will be looking at your case, and then they will do selective peering with you if you ask to do peering with them. And then restrictive, I mentioned that, is generally not open for peering with any network. It's very closed, okay? So the survey showed that the peering policies have three main categories: in operations, technical, routing, interconnection, and general aspects, okay? So some of the clauses that came up in the operation clauses were related to NOC being available 24/7, okay? Traffic volume reaching a certain level, so for them to be able to do peering with them. Some are requesting you to have a certain level of traffic. You cannot come and say, I want to do traffic peering with you, but it seems that we can only exchange 1 megabit per second. For them, it doesn't make sense. So some of those agreements had a traffic level requirement and capacity, interconnection capacity. We are only peering with you with 10 gig. Less than 10 gig, we don't pair with you. So some of them had this interconnect capacity. Work to fixing things, okay? What will happen if things are broken? Interconnect capacity, geography diversity, and peering in all places. Some agreements had also that requirement about the geographical aspects, okay? This is quite important. Some agreement had also the Internet Routing Registry requirement. For me to do peering with you, you need to have entry records into the Internet Routing Registry for me to be sure that you are owning what you are saying that you are announcing, okay? Very important. Probably we will, maybe in another, not a peering day, but we will be having an opportunity to talk about this later on. In terms of technical aspects, consistent route announcements, some are stating that you need to be consistent in your announcements. So your announcement and what can be generated from the Internet Routing Registry have to be matching. What we've seen is that sometimes someone can announce some prefixes to the exchange. When it comes to internet, there is a inconsistency of announcements. So some of those agreements required that both parties announce consistent routes. And also don't abuse peering as also another requirement. Some of the clauses that came, can't be a customer. Some network do not allow networks that are already their clients to be their peers. That's okay, okay? It happens frequently. I am your customer, I'm giving you transit. There is no need for me to do peering if we are already doing transit with you, okay? Peering request procedure, it has to follow, some of those agreements had procedures and termination clauses, how the agreement can be closed and so on and so forth. So those are the key policies that have been found during that study. So when you are looking at some of, you can publish those pairing policies. This is a pairing policy from Hurricane Electric, which is, I think, one of the biggest global service provider. Your organization also can publish your pairing policy, and that's it. The rest is about pairing DB, and I think Ben has already talked about that.